Today, we have some exciting industry news. We're talking about a property insurance reform and condo safety requirements that was signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis. So, if you're a property owner, homeowner down here in South Florida, you know that property insurance has had an increase in policy costs over the last few years that has driven out a lot of policy carriers and insurance companies out of the South Florida market, and therefore it has driven property insurance costs or driven them to skyrocket over the past 3, 4, 5 years. And property insurance has been a problem, a growing problem in South Florida for many different reasons. Not only are we prone to hurricanes and natural disasters, but we also have a lot of fraud priced into these policies. And given the property insurance environment with the increased cost, increased labor cost, and so forth, a lot of companies left the South Florida market and the Florida market altogether. So, property insurance on average down here in Miami-Dade County is typically 15 to 20% higher than anywhere else in Florida. And the further up north you go, you'll find that property insurance becomes significantly more affordable, right? Compared to the Miami-Dade cost and South Broward properties, right? So we finally got something done to improve this. We got a new legislation signed by Ron DeSantis that it seeks to improve the cost of property insurance premiums. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think we're going to see, the property insurance overall, if not drop, then definitely plateau a little bit. Hopefully, that's what I think will happen in the near future with all the funding and everything that's going into this legislation. So I'll share directly off of the floridagov.com website and link down below if you want to take a look at the entire article for yourself. And one of the biggest changes that's coming with this legislation is that sure, we're getting some reinsurance relief, $2 billion. We have $150 million for my Safe Florida Home program, which is great. These are grants that homeowners get to improve their houses, their homes for hurricane, right? So for high winds and so forth. So that's good. But a really important change that's coming, it's going to be this one here. A lot of which requires or prevents insurance companies from renewing someone's policy if they have less than 15 years left on the life expectancy on their roof. Typically, it's about 3 years, 4 years is usually the mark that or the time that these property insurance companies give the homeowners to or the limit to prevent the policy from renewing. In other words, if you have a roof inspection that says you have 3 years left on your roof, on your life expectancy, then most of these companies will not insure your home, right? And what this legislation now requires is that you can't deny coverage or prevent renewals of these policies just based on the age of the roof, which is phenomenal. That's probably the number one reason why most of these policies get canceled. So step in the right direction, definitely. It's going to, or the legislation requires a little bit more transparency between the adjusters and the policy owners and the insurance companies. They require a little bit more disclosure and transparency throughout the process of claims. Step in the right direction. We also have a lot of there's some good changes coming as well to the application process. There's some good changes coming to the whole process of between when somebody files a claim through getting the claim registered and processed through the insurance company. I've seen some steps in the right directions already where the insurance company incentivizes the homeowner to use their general contractor, their roofers, their vendors to expedite the process. This prevents a little bit more or creates a little bit more transparency, and it prevents fraud a little bit more, right? If somebody has a roof leak and they file the claim with the insurance company says, hey, we'll pay it out, we'll send out our roofer. This will get you paid or the roof fixed significantly faster than, if we work with someone that you choose. In an ideal world, somebody would choose their own roofer and the insurance company will pay out and process everything quickly. But we don't live in an ideal world especially with insurance companies. There's a lot of fraud that's priced in. So hopefully this new process minimizes or diminishes the fraud that we see on these insurance claims, and therefore it should lower the premium costs for insurances across the board. So step in the right direction, absolutely. Ultimately, it's yet to see, or we'll see what kind of effects this has on the insurance market. But with that being said, the next part of the legislation that was signed in, it's requiring a little bit more or more safety requirements for condominiums when it comes to inspections. We know what happened in the Surfside condominium. So with that in mind, the governor signed in the following requirements. So any building that's within 3 miles of the coast, phase 1 inspection must occur 25 years after the initial occupancy of the building and every 10 years thereafter. So any building that has been built longer than 25 years ago, effective immediately or effective June 1st, they'll have to have a building certification, building inspection every 10 years, which I think is great. It's, preventative measures or, a little bit more often inspection should minimize another Surfside situation. Then it also added that for all other buildings, meaning any building that's not within 3 miles of the coast, the first inspection must occur within 30 years. So they're giving you a 5-year difference there if you're on the coast versus not being on the coast, and every 10 years thereafter. So that remains the same. Essentially, going forward, all of these buildings are going to need 10-year inspections constantly. Now, I can say that currently there's only a 40-year inspection, and that's it. So this added legislation, I think, is going to improve the overall safety of condominiums, especially if you are near the coast. We know that salt water, the saline, creates rust. There's also the issue of the flooding and things like that. I think this is definitely something that's positive across the board. I don't see anything wrong with this legislation. More safety, more inspections more often, I think is a good thing. And it adds that if during phase 1 inspection there's substantial structural deterioration, more intensive phase 2 inspection is required. I think that's common sense. If there's a building inspection now and there's some structural issues found, it stands to reason that immediately there must be a follow-up for a phase 2, a more in-depth inspection of that building. So overall, the new changes coming to property insurance, I think it's good overall. The changes coming to the condo market, absolutely good. More safety, something that I can definitely get behind on. More frequent inspections, more in-depth inspections requirements. It's definitely a good thing. So that's all the industry news we have for now. We'll continue to bring these news to you as they break. But other than that, guys, stay safe. If you have any questions regarding these two legislations that are going into effect, feel free to reach out to me. Easiest way to reach me is via text. Otherwise, stay safe and have a nice day, guys.